Welcome to Yehewin Yoga. Today's practice will be a gentle vinyasa flow to help move and reduce anxiety or worry in the body, the mind. So I invite you first to find a comfortable seating position. And as we begin, just notice your breath. I'm just going to read some verses from Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 to 7 to think about through this practice. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Let's continue to breathe and just noticing how those verses resonate with you. If you like, you can begin to circle your body in one direction. Maybe inhale as you circle forwards and exhale as you go back. Your circles can be big or small. There's no rush here. Just drawing each inhale and exhale as long as comfortable. It's working within your practice today. Each day will be different. As you come to stillness, just begin to circle in the opposite direction. Checking in with how this movement feels in your body today. Just gently warming up the hips. Come back to stillness, making our way to a tabletop. So we have our hands below the shoulders and knees below the hips. Inhale, looking up. Exhale to arch the back. Inhale to look up. Exhale, drawing the center of the spine to the ceiling. Inhale, bring the tailbone and head up. Just moving through this cat-cow posture at your own pace. Warming up the spine. Feeling movement of breath. We're going to spread the knees and sitting back as you exhale for a child's pose. You can always have your knees together. Just noticing how this feels in your shoulders, your hips, your body. Often anxiety or worry, stress resides in the hips and the shoulders. Inhale, coming back to tabletop and gently coming down to your tummy. Zipping the legs behind you. Feet are pointed. Just your arms by your sides. So you inhale to look up. Exhale back to the earth. Inhale to peel the chest and head up for baby cobra again. Exhale down. And just once more. So you inhale to look up. And exhale back down. And on your next inhale, just pushing up to your knees. Setting up for a dolphin pose. So knees are down. And just bringing the forearms to the floor. Having a line from your hips down to your where your head is. So it's kind of like a variation of a downward facing dog. So you can always take this instead of a downward dog. So you can either stay in that dolphin pose or you can straighten the legs up, coming to a downward dog. If you like, maybe pedaling out the feet, warming up the legs a bit, and the calves. Noticing if you prefer the dolphin pose or the downward dog, using whichever one or interchangeably throughout this practice. As you inhale, raising the left leg up into the sky, maybe opening, kicking back that knee, rotating the foot perhaps. Exhale that leg back to the ground and inhaling the right leg up into the sky, maybe kicking that hip back. Rotating the ankle if you like. Just checking in with the hips, the body. Exhale the leg down. Inhale, stepping your feet up to your hands. Taking a standing forward bend. Legs can be wide out or underneath your hips. Your arms might be hanging low or hands grabbing opposite elbows. You can find some movement as you sway back and forth or stay in stillness. Knees can be bent generously here. Noticing your breath as well. And as you inhale, rising up nice and slow. As you find a standing posture here, maybe taking mountain pose with your feet below your hips, rooting the feet into the ground. As you inhale, bringing the arms up and bending over one direction, one arm down, one arm overhead if that's comfortable, and your shoulders. Inhales, arm up. Exhale, bending towards the opposite side. Just checking in with the sides of your torso. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, bending to one side. Inhale, arm up, and exhale, bending to the other side. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, cactus arms, just bending the arms like a cactus. Going with your breath as you inhale, arms up, exhaling, arms down. Just find a little bit of movement here in willow tree. Just swaying back and forth at your own pace. Your feet can be wider than your hips if you like. Maybe the heels lift off the mat or they can stay planted on the ground. The arms can maybe come up to the shoulders or just hanging down low. Warming up the body. Going to move the arms in a circle as we bend the knees. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up and circling them down as you squat down. Inhale through center as the arms move up and back outward. Just finding gentle movements, checking in with how your arms are feeling, your legs. Now we're just going to take a little shoulder stretch, leaning one shoulder forwards. Your hands are maybe resting in a comfortable spot on your thighs. Just moving with the breath as you alternate which shoulder stretches forwards. Looking over your opposite shoulder, perhaps. Just continue to move at a comfortable pace, inhaling and exhaling as you alternate sides. And inhale to rise up to stand. Exhale, arms down. Let's find a spot at the top of your mat. Take a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, diving down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale to rise back up to stand. Let's take that half sun salutation again. Inhale, arms up. But exhale, diving down. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, rising up to stand. Inhale, exhale, diving down. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, down. Inhale to rise back up. I'll take one more half sun salutation before changing it up. Inhale, rising up again. Inhale, arms up. And exhale to dive down. This time, we're going to step back with our right leg, finding a low lunge. Lower that back knee, left leg forwards as I mirror you in this video. Finding a low lunge so your knees above your ankle. Exhale, leaning back, stretching that leg. Just going to find some movement as we stretch between a low lunge and a hamstring stretch. Toes can be either curled or pointed. You can always place a blanket or roll your mat to cushion your knee if you'd like. Just find your way to a tabletop. Just to switch directions, alternate leg forwards. So bring our right knee forwards, left leg back. And exhale as you lean back and inhale to low lunge. Exhale, straighten. Inhale to lunge. Just stretching, but also warming the legs in this postures. Letting yourself to breathe. Making your way back to a tabletop and either taking that dolphin pose or you can go straight to downward dog if you like. So knees on the ground, arms stretched out with your forearms on the ground. A straight spine. You can either stay in that dolphin pose or come up to downward dog if you like. Whichever posture you're taking, we're just going to set up for a pigeon pose. So we'll inhale the left leg up and exhale, bringing that shin parallel to the top of the mat. Flexing that foot. Squaring your hips to the mat. Just going to find some movement through this posture before we hold the pigeon pose. Just exhale, flowing down, inhale to rise up. Exhale, flowing down, exhale to rise up. Just moving up and down to this posture, finding where your edge is, how far you want to stretch in this posture today. And finding stillness either up high in the posture or lowering yourself to the ground as far as you're comfortable. Checking in and be mindful of your knee, your hips. Letting yourself to sink into the stretch as much as comfortable with each exhale. Then inhale to rise up. Bending that straight leg, that is, and either taking a little quad stretch, or you can just enjoy having either a straight leg or bending that knee as well. Exhale, just making your way to your downward dog or dolphin pose as you set up to stretch on the opposite side. So raising that right leg up, and exhale, bringing that shin parallel to the top of the mat, flexing the foot. Just squaring your hips to the mat, so you might have to shift the hips back and forth. And maybe taking some movement as you exhale, as you dive down, inhale as you rise back up. Just finding where your boundary is in this posture. And either staying up high or lowering yourself as far as comfortable to the mat. You can always use a block to support your head as well, or a pillow. Just breathing and letting each exhale to sink more into the stretch. Also finding strength as your body supports you. And always backing out of the stretch if there's any pain in the knee. As you inhale, coming back up, maybe bending that back knee or bending that knee to have a little quad stretch. using your hand or a strap to reach that bent knee or bent foot. It's going to come to sit. In a moment, now that we warmed up the body, to get into more stretching postures here. So we'll stretch the left leg out, the right foot to your hip, maybe leaning down forwards into the stretch. Checking in, you can always come back up and adjust yourself or pause the video if you need to. Only coming as far into the stretch as comfortable. You don't want to find any pain in your joints like your knees. So just moving nice and slow. Just going to switch legs. So stretching out the right leg, sweeping it away from you and bringing the left foot to your right thigh. Staying up high if that's enough of a stretch, or you can lean forwards only until you is comfortable. Having a spine with integrity and intention. Contemplating how this practice was for you today. Knowing that we are now in the cooling down phase of this practice. It's going to bring the soles of your feet together for a butterfly stretch. So you might either want to sit up straight, or if you like, you can bend forwards. Maybe taking a moment to massage your feet if you like, or your calves, arches of your feet. Let's breathe. Feel the support of the ground beneath you as you move through these cooling down postures. And on your next inhale, just roll back up to sit. We're going to prepare for a seated spinal twist. It's going to lengthen the right leg out straight, bending over the left leg over top, or you can curl in that lower leg towards you. Find length as you inhale and exhale, exhaling to twist towards the upper leg that is twisted. Feeling perhaps a stretch in your low back, massaging your internal organs. And inhale back to center. It's going to take a little cow-faced stretch here. So knees are stacked over top of each other. You can stay up straight or bending forwards as you exhale to dive down. Using your hands to support you in this posture. Just checking in with how it feels, if it's comfortable or if it's not, but just backing out of it. Perhaps feeling a stretch in your hips. And inhale, coming back up to sit. I'm just going to take these two stretches on the same other side. So lengthening out one leg or curling it towards you. Hugging in the right knee and twisting towards the right side. Inhale each time to lengthen your spine, exhale to twist. Just noticing how this side feels compared to the other side as you twist. Inhale back to center and taking that cow face stretch on the side. So stacking the knees over top of each other. Feet are curled around. Sitting up tall, or exhale as you crawl forward to feel a stretch. Checking in with how this side feels with the other opposite stacked knees. Breathing, feeling the ground beneath you. Inhale, rising back up to sit, uncurling your legs. And if you have a strap handy or a belt or something, have that handy beside you. And exhale, coming to lay down on your back. Hugging your knees towards you, finding stillness or rocking back and forth for wind posture. Just massaging your back as you rock back and forth. Exhale to drop the feet to the ground. Inhale, hips up for bridge pose. Exhale, hips down. Inhale, hips up. Just moving with your breath. Just slowly rising up that to a place that is comfortable. This time we're going to lengthen out the left leg and hugging the opposite knee towards you. Maybe finding length. You can use that strap if it's handy. Just in placing it in the middle of the right foot. Using the strap as a way to help bring that connection between your foot towards your hands, as a way to relax in the stretch. So it's not so much about being able to have that flexibility, but more about stretching and lengthening the muscles. I'll let that leg to drop open to the side to feel a stretch a little bit differently in the legs. Inhale that leg to center, and exhale, letting that leg to drop across the body. Feeling a stretch perhaps in the IT band of the leg. Just noticing what emotions your legs are feeling today. Continue breathing as always. Inhale that leg back to center. Deciding it to lengthen down. Before we switch sides, maybe windshield wiping the knees back and forth. And we'll place the strap in the middle of the left foot, maybe lengthening the right leg. Just breathing, feeling relaxation as you notice the blood flowing down this other leg, calming the parasympathetic nervous system. Making yourself comfortable as you lay down. Also open that leg towards the side of the mat. Maybe using the opposite hand to ground the opposite hip. Inhale that leg back to center and then just crossing it over towards the opposite direction. Just noticing how the stretch feels in your legs. And going back to center and letting the legs to just lengthen. Or you can always take that little windshield wiper with the knees if that's comfortable. Just going to prepare for either a shoulder stand or having both legs up straight. You can always use the strap to support them. If shoulder stands within your practice, is leaning up and using your hands to support your low back. Backs of your arms on the mat. Engaging your core. So you might want to take the shoulder stand or plow pose, whichever inversion is comfortable for you. You can always keep your back flat on the ground and just have the legs up or bent up. Inversions with the legs up, even having the legs on the wall, are really great for soothing the mind and the body when there's worry or stress. Exhale slowly back to the mat. Windshield wiping the legs, just to counter that stretch that we just took. Just curl it up into a little ball, head to the knees. Just gonna take a happy baby pose. So maybe having your hands to the outsides of your feet, finding stillness, or you can always rock back and forth. Or if you like, you can take hold of your ankles or your hands on your thighs if that's more accessible. And exhale, legs back to the ground, stretching out one leg and letting the opposite leg to curl over top, taking a laying down twist here. So one leg over top of the lengthened leg. You can be bent or straight, just twisting, looking over to the opposite direction, letting gravity to hold you in this twist. Inhale back to center, letting the opposite leg to twist over the body. The other leg is flat on the ground. If it's comfortable, gazing in the opposite direction that your knee is. Just breathing and twisting. Inhale back to center. Just preparing for a final rest, taking up as much space as you like. Find a comfortable placement for your hands. I'm just going to read to you Philippians 4 again, starting in verse 6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. The things which you learned and received, and heard you saw in me, these do, and the God of peace will be with you. Just continue breathing, maybe using your hands to massage your face, your shoulders, or any other area where there might be tension. Letting each exhale to sink you more and more into the mat as you let those words to resonate within you. Letting go of any stress, worry, or anxiety that you may still be holding. Knowing that you can always use your breath to ground you throughout the rest of your day. Continue breathing. You can either stay in this final rest for as long as you like, or if you're ready, just beginning to wiggle the toes and fingers to come back to your space today. Taking your time, knowing that you can always pause or rest a bit longer. Maybe letting the knees to bend into windshield wiper, letting the arms to stretch overhead, letting yourself to roll over to either side. Use your arm as a pillow. Just thanking yourself for practicing today. Inhaling up to sit. I thank you for practicing with me here today.